Hello and a very warm welcome to Rajya Sabha Television. You're watching the news tonight with me, Frank Pereira. Here are this evening's headlines. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj to leave for Pakistan tomorrow. First high-level minister visit to include meetings with Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif and Pakistani Foreign Minister Sartaj Aziz. In the Rajya Sabha, Congress accuses government of making fundamental departure on NSA-level talks with Pakistan in Bangkok. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj to brief the House on Thursday. High Court tells Congress leaders Sonia and Rahul Gandhi to appear in trial court in the National Herald case. Court rejects petition seeking exemption from personal appearance and cancellation of summons. Chennai struggles to find its feet. Impact of the floods continues to play havoc with normal life amid complaints of government apathy. And India win the Delhi cricket test by 337 runs, sweep the series 3-0. Ajinkya Rahane named the man of the match for his 2 centuries. Well, External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj will visit Pakistan on Tuesday, the first visit to the country by India's top diplomat. Swaraj will attend a multilateral conference on Afghanistan there, and she will also meet her Pakistani counterpart Sartaj Aziz and even Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif.
External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj will lead a delegation to Islamabad for talks on Afghanistan. Swaraj's visit comes soon after talks between the National Security Advisors of India and Pakistan in Bangkok on Sunday. In their meeting, the NSAs discussed terrorism, Jammu and Kashmir and a range of key bilateral issues.
In all fitness, it would be appropriate that she returns after the talks. And the government is fully prepared to give the entire brief of whatever has happened in Pakistan, whatever is the status of talks on terror, the NSA level talks.
Swaraj will meet her Pakistani counterpart Sartaj Aziz and also Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif on Wednesday. The minister's visit will be the first after the collapse of talks in September this year. The resumption comes just days after the Prime Ministers of the two countries met briefly in Paris last week.
स्वराज जी यहाँ आ रही हैं, उनके साथ बायलैटरल मीटिंग होगी, मेरे साथ भी और वज़ीर आज़म के साथ भी, और वो शमूलियत भी करेंगे। अब ये कहना अभी पेश अज़ वक्त है कि आया इन मुलाकातों में जो हमारा कंपोजिट डायलॉग है और जो वो शुरू होगा, किस तरीके से शुरू होगा, किन आइटम पे शुरू होगा, इसके लिए आपको 2 दिन और इंतजार करना पड़ेगा। लेकिन ये कम से कम जो अच्छी इब्तिदा है कि जो डेडलॉक था नेगोशिएशन में वो किसी हद तक दूर हुआ।
Sushma Swaraj's visit is the first ministerial level visit to Pakistan since the then External Affairs Minister S.M. Krishna visited Islamabad in 2012. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, the government came under fire on Monday in the Rajya Sabha over the NSA-level talks with Pakistan in Bangkok. The Congress accused the government of making a fundamental departure from New Delhi's position on ties with Pakistan. The government, however, assured the House that national security was of paramount importance.
The issue of the Indo-Pak NSA-level talks came up in Rajya Sabha today with Deputy Leader of the Congress in the House, Anand Sharma, demanding the Prime Minister's clarification. Sharma also asserted that foreign secretaries accompanying the NSAs meant that the scope and agenda of talks was expanded.
Government takes the Parliament into confidence and the Prime Minister shares as to what has been the understanding reached between him and Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif for the government now to move forward.
KC Tyagi called it a flip-flop in the government's Pakistan policy. Even as Rajiv Shukla said, it was the right time to resume cricket ties between India and Pakistan.
Discussion covered peace and security, all right. But sir, terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir, what do you mean by that?
No objection.
कि मंत्री महोदय कश्मीर पर भी अपनी सरकार की पॉलिसी डिक्लेयर करें।
अवका नहीं से let the आम भी जा रहे हैं, साड़ियाँ भी आ रही हैं, इसके अलावा NSA भी मिल रहे हैं, तो दोनों क्रिकेट टीमों को नहीं मिलने जा रहा, उनको भी मिलने दिया जाए, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? उसी पे क्यों सब आफत मची हुई है?
Union Minister Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi then assured the House that External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj would make a statement on Thursday.
जहाँ तक सवाल है जिन इश्यूज़ को आपने कहा है, हम आपको विश्वास दिलाते हैं कि विदेश मंत्री महोदया 10 तारीख को इसी सदन में आएंगी और जिन विषयों को आपने रखा है उन सारे मुद्दों पर वो जानकारी देंगी।
External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj is slated to visit Pakistan for a multilateral conference on Tuesday. Swaraj's visit comes after NSA Ajit Doval and his Pakistani counterpart Nasir Janjua held talks in Bangkok on Sunday, days after Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Pakistani Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif met on the sidelines of the Paris Climate Summit. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, the upper house today passed one bill while referring another to the select committee. Negotiable Instruments Amendment Bill of 2015 was cleared by the Rajya Sabha, but the Prevention of Corruption Amendment Bill of 2013 was referred to the select committee after several members raised objections over certain clauses.
So why doesn't
Negotiable Instruments Amendment Bill 2015, which deals with check bounce cases, was cleared by the upper house on Monday without discussion.
I move that the bill as amended be passed.
Motion moved that the bill as amended be passed. The question is that bill as amended be passed. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, the ayes have it, that the bill as amended is passed.
Soon after passing the bill, the upper house resumed discussion on the Prevention of Corruption Amendment Bill 2013. But several members raised objections over certain clauses and demanded that the bill be sent to the select committee.
तो शिवन जब सब लोकपाल तय करेगा तो फिर ये जो बिल हमसे पास करा रहे हैं बिल का औचित्य क्या रह गया? मैं माननीय मंत्री जी से कहूँगा कि इसको सेलेक्ट कमेटी में भेज दीजिए, क्यों समय बर्बाद कर रहे हैं?
It is quite clear to me that the balance between the objectives of curbing corruption in high places and the need to ensure certain protections to people wrongly charged is missing in this bill.
So when amendment is taken...
The government agreed, following which the chair suspended further discussion and asked the government to come up with a motion for sending the bill to the select committee.
So if the members believe that this requires to be reconsidered or sent to the select committee, we have an open mind.
I am suspending the discussion, deferring the discussion. Now, say for an hour or so. After that, the government should move a motion to send it to select committee with the members of the select committee after due consultation with the political parties and come.
Opposition parties, including the Congress and Samajwadi Party, had advocated caution when the Prevention of Corruption Amendment Bill 2013 was moved in the House last week. Vishal Dahiya, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, the Lok Sabha on Monday discussed the drought situation in at least 8 states in the country. During the discussion, the government came in for a lot of criticism for the delay in help reaching these states. MPs also raised the issue of budget cuts in agriculture and poor implementation of the crop insurance scheme. The Agriculture Minister will reply to the debate on Tuesday.
The discussion on the drought situation in the country was started by Congress MP Jyotiraditya Scindia. He said that agricultural growth has come down in the last 15 months. Scindia talked about several states where the drought has damaged crops. Madhya Pradesh, Odisha and Maharashtra topped that list. He also accused the government of compounding the problems of farmers as they were not getting the minimum support price for their produce.
7 राज्यों ने 25,000 करोड़ की मांग रखी। अप्रैल के माह में प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कहा था कि मैं नियम बदल रहा हूं, 50% नुकसान पर मुआवजा के मापदंड में कमी करके 33% घोषणा की थी, लेकिन घोषणा आज तक केवल घोषणा रह चुकी है। आज जमीन पर ना मुआवजा, ना सर्वे, ना कुछ हो पाया है और इसलिए हम कहते हैं कि ये सूट बूट की सरकार।
CPM MP MB Rajesh said that a drop in the state's expenditure on agriculture has made matters worse. He claimed that this has led to several irrigation projects not taking off. TMC MP Sudeep Bandyopadhyay questioned the government's mechanism to determine aid.
Public investment in agriculture, a major share of public investment in agriculture goes to irrigation. But in the last 20-25 years, especially after in the post-liberalization period, since the government has increasingly withdrawn from public investment under various regimes, this investment in irrigation is badly affected.
That the total demand and the total allotment becomes there about more than 20% maximum or below that. So what is the actual process?
BJD leader Bhartrihari Mehtab focused on crop insurance and bank loans. He also claimed that compensation for farmers was decided not by the Agriculture Ministry but by the Finance Ministry.
Let our able Minister Agriculture impress upon his colleagues also to come here and also intervene in this discussion, because this is a very serious issue. For the first time consecutively, Rabi crop has failed, Kharif has failed. Again Rabi has failed, again Kharif has failed. 4 crops have failed.
The discussion will continue on Tuesday. Shamsundar's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, the agitation over Union Minister VK Singhs' remarks on the Dalit killing issue continued both inside and outside Parliament today. As the centre extended its support to its minister, Congress and other opposition parties are demanding Singh's resignation.
Refusing to let go of Union Minister VK Singh's remark on the killing of 2 Dalit children, the Congress and other opposition parties protested at the Gandhi statue outside the Parliament on Monday. They are demanding the ouster of the minister.
तो ऐसे मंत्रिमंडल में इस तरह का मंत्री नहीं होना चाहिए जो संविधान के खिलाफ बात करे, जो दलितों के खिलाफ बात करे। लिहाजा आज हमारी जो यहाँ धरना था वो इसीलिए था कि वीके सिंह जी को तुरंत प्रधानमंत्री मंत्रिमंडल से हटा देने चाहिए।
हमने इसको श्री वीके सिंह को बर्खास्त करके इनके खिलाफ कानूनी कार्रवाई करने की मांग की थी, और जब हाउस शुरू हुआ तो तब भी हमने इस मामले को काफ़ी जोरदार तरीके से उठाया था। तो लेकिन मुझे नहीं लगता कि सरकार कोई उनके खिलाफ कार्रवाई करने वाली है। इससे उनकी दलित विरोधी मानसिकता साफ झलकती है।
Defending the minister, the government rejected the opposition charge that his remarks were anti-Dalit. They also accused the Congress of politicizing the issue.
जब एक बात को बार-बार किसी भी व्यक्ति ने स्पष्ट कर दिया है कि उनका कभी भी किसी भी रूप में समाज के किसी भी वर्ग को अपमानित करने का मकसद नहीं था, उसके बाद हमें लगता है ये इशू क्लोज हो जाता है। लेकिन अगर उसको राजनीतिक कारणों से कुछ लोग जिंदा रखना चाहते हैं तो ये उनकी इच्छा है।
Although the former army chief has clarified his stand in the parliament, the opposition seems dissatisfied. As a result, disruptions continued in both houses of parliament.
The action required by government with respect to the derogatory remarks against the Dalit community by Union Minister Sri VK Singhs violate। एक मिनट भाई, अरे इसका कोई देखिए सुन तो लीजिए, मैं कोई गलत बात नहीं बता रहा हूँ।
Meanwhile, a Delhi court has dismissed a criminal complaint seeking lodging of FIR against VK Singh. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, in a huge setback for Congress President Sonia Gandhi and Vice President Rahul Gandhi, the Delhi High Court has dismissed their plea to quash the summons against them in the National Herald case. It also declined to grant them exemption from a personal appearance before the trial court in the matter.
A big blow to Congress President Sonia Gandhi and Vice President Rahul Gandhi in the National Herald case. The two, along with 5 others accused in the case, will have to appear in a trial court on Tuesday. This after the Delhi High Court rejected their petition seeking exemption from personal appearance. The court also dismissed their plea seeking cancellation of the summons against them. BJP leader Subramaniam Swamy, on whose petition the summoning orders were issued, has welcomed the High Court order.
The High Court order today is dismissing Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, Motilal Vora, Oscar Fernandez, Suman Dubey and Sam Petroda's petitions, saying that the magistrate's order summoning them for facing trial on the case of their conspiracy to grab the property of National Herald. This summons is not based on law and it should be quashed. This the High Court considered fully, full arguments were done, and today they said that the petitions have no merit of these people. Now the trial will go on and it's an open shut case. They will have to face prosecution and ultimately go to jail.
The Congress will now challenge the order in the Supreme Court.
We intend to challenge the order because we have very substantive legal grounds and we believe that a dismissal of our quashing petition is legally unsustainable.
The National Herald newspaper was started in 1938 by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. It played a prominent role in promoting nationalist sentiment before independence due to the publication being dogged by bad management, poor circulation and falling revenue. Congress President Sonia Gandhi decided to close it down in 2008. BJP leader Subramaniam Swamy alleges that the Gandhis aimed at grabbing property worth several thousand crores owned by the newspaper's publishing firm, Associated Journals, using fake papers. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Going on now, Chennai is struggling to find its feet as the impact of the floods continues to play havoc with normal life. Residents are still wading in water in houses and buildings, even as they complain of government apathy.
Amid multiplying complaints from residents, many areas of Chennai continue to remain flooded. Houses are still in ankle-deep water, while furniture, electrical appliances and other household items are damaged beyond recovery.
20 நாளா ஒரே தொடர்ந்து மழை பெஞ்சிக்கிட்டே இருக்குது. தண்ணி எங்க வீட்டுக்குள்ள உள்ளது போகவே இல்லை. குளத்தை உடைச்சு விட்டு தண்ணி வந்துகிட்டே இருக்குது. அதனால எங்களால இருக்கவே முடியல வீட்டுல. ஒரே தண்ணி, பொருள் பூரா நாசியா போச்சு. கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமா வாங்கி சேர்த்த பொருள் பூரா நாசியா போயிருச்சு. டிவி பெட்டி, இது கம்ப்யூட்டர், வாஷிங் மிஷின் எல்லாமே உள்ளது ஃபுல்லா தண்ணி போயிருச்சு.
Chennai's airport partially reopened and train services also resumed on Sunday, but roads are still waterlogged. Many families are huddled in makeshift roadside shelters. Residents are blaming the state government for the lack of concrete contingency plans.
மழைக்கு ஃபுல்லாக காரணமே பிடபிள்யூ அவங்க ஒர்க்கு சரியாக பண்ணதால கூம் ஃபுல்லாமே லென்த்து வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அதிகமாக இருந்தெல்லாம் சின்னதாகிட்டே ஃப்ளாட் போட்டு வீடு கட்டிட்டு அதனால தண்ணி போகிற வழி எல்லாமே சிட்டிக்குள்ளே ஃபுல்லாக ஏறி சம்பரம் ஏறி தோந்துட்டு அதனால வந்தது. இது எல்லாமே பிடபிள்யூ கரெக்டாக பண்ணியிருந்தோன்னா அந்த ஒர்க்கு இது கவர்மெண்ட் சரி, எந்த கவர்மெண்ட்டாக தான் சரியில்லை கவர்மெண்ட் பண்ணுறது.
6 of the 7 power stations that were flooded are functioning, but one was accessible only by boat and will need time to start again. Residents are also fearing an epidemic outbreak after water levels recede. About 280 people have died across the state so far ever since torrential rains hit the city on 1st of December. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Let's now get you some more news and updates from across the country and nationwide. The government told Lok Sabha today that petroleum products should come under the ambit of the proposed goods and services tax. A final decision would only be taken after the state governments could come on board. Petroleum Minister Dharmendra Pradhan said altogether 52% tax is levied on petroleum products by both central and state governments. The Supreme Court today directed all states and union territories to compensate, rehabilitate and provide free treatment to survivors of acid attacks. This direction came while dealing with a case of an acid attack victim from Bihar. The court asked the Bihar government to pay compensation of 10 lakh rupees to the victim along with providing her with free treatment. 5 soldiers were injured today when unidentified assailants ambushed the vehicle they were travelling in Kashmir. The convoy was passing through the Srinagar-Jammu's national highway when it came under attack. No group has claimed responsibility for the attack so far. 6 BJP MLAs and 9 from the Congress who had recently declared their allegiance to the opposition party were suspended from the Assam Assembly today. The suspension came after they disobeyed the Speaker's ruling and created noisy scenes on the first day of the session. Veteran Communist leader A.B. Bardhan was hospitalized this morning after he suffered a paralytic stroke. 92-year-old Bardhan's condition has been described as critical and the former General Secretary of the CPI is in hospital and being taken care of by senior doctors. It's time for a short break now, but news and updates will continue on the other side. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Get live Rajya Sabha session. News, views, reports and analysis you can trust on social media. Subscribe, follow, like Rajya Sabha Television.
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha Television. Well, Mauritian President Amina Firdaus Gurib Fakim, who is in India on a 5-day visit, met her Indian counterpart, President Pranab Mukherjee, today. President Mukherjee said India attaches high importance to its relations with Mauritius and expressed hope that a new dynamism will be added to these bilateral relations in the future. He also congratulated her on being the first woman president of Mauritius. The Mauritian president, on her part, described Indians as brothers and sisters and not just friends, as she conveyed gratitude for India's assistance in the development of Mauritius. She also conveyed her condolences to the people of Chennai, who are battling the worst floods in more than a century. She also met External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj earlier in the day. Well, climate negotiators in Paris today stepped up their efforts to reach a deal to cut global carbon emissions. Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar, who is in Paris, however, cautioned that the summit is at a crossroads, even as he reiterated India's demand on climate financing.
Negotiators working round the clock to finalize a global climate deal by Friday. US Secretary of State John Kerry is in Paris to work alongside ministers from almost 200 nations. French Foreign Minister Laurent Fabius has formed working committees to tackle the biggest themes that include differentiation between rich and poor nations on climate financing.
Ce matin s'ouvre pour la COP 21 la semaine de l'espoir. Elle a été préparée par les travaux de la semaine dernière.
Catastrophe climatique du guette. Le monde attend de vous plus que des demi-mesures et des démarches progressives. Il réclame un accord porteur de transformation.
Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar reiterated India's demand that richer nations must uphold the biggest curbs to pay back their debt for the overdraft they have drawn on the carbon space. He remained cautious about a climate deal, as he said content-wise they have not reached midway but are at crossroads.
2, 3,
In Paris, hundreds of people used the Eiffel Tower to promote the message of renewable energy. The tower became the backdrop of a light display featuring 24 roving searchlights and an international sports project on Sunday. The tower will become a giant energy antenna, as calories burnt by users of an online sports app were symbolically recorded on the sides of the monument, along with tweets supporting a deal. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Some more international news now. France's far-right National Front party, led by Marine Le Pen, won a historic victory in the first round of regional elections on Sunday. The centre-right Republicans party, led by former President Nicolas Sarkozy, trailed behind ahead of the governing Socialist Party.
A sweeping victory for the far-right National Front party in France. Significantly, it was the first election held in the country hit by a major terrorist attack early in November. The National Front leader said her party has maintained people's trust.
Enregistre la confiance des Français de plus en plus, élection après élection, et qu'il n'y a, pour peu que, encore une fois, on ait la capacité d'analyse et le contact avec le peuple, aucune surprise.
Following an election drought, the French Socialist Party said it will withdraw from the second round of runoffs in the north and southeast of France on December 13th. Former President Nicolas Sarkozy's centre-right Republicans Party and allies came first in 4 regions, finishing second overall with 26.9% of the vote.
Nous ne sommes pas à la recherche d'une fusion, elle aurait été nécessaire, ou tout du moins, il aurait été nécessaire que dans ces 3 régions, le parti dit républicain fasse bloc contre l'extrême droite. Mais visiblement, M. Nicolas Sarkozy et l'ensemble des responsables du Parti républicain préfèrent l'extrême droite.
The second round of voting on December 13th will determine the final results of all parties. Even if the National Front showcase a strong performance in the first round, the more traditional left-wing and right-wing coalitions can benefit by uniting with smaller parties which scored less than 5% in the first round to form a larger coalition. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Let's now bring you a roundup of all the other international news in Global Buzz. About 100 masked attackers destroyed a security checkpoint in China's southern region of Inner Mongolia today. At least 13 people were injured in the incident. The attackers were armed with sticks and pepper spray and have reportedly wrecked several vehicles. No motive has been given and the police are searching for those involved. The FBI's wide-ranging terror probe into the mass shooting in California has expanded to Pakistan and other countries. This comes amid mounting concerns over radicalization in the US. Meanwhile, the Pakistani Interior Ministry has agreed to cooperate in the investigation. In a blow to the ruling socialist government led by President Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela, the opposition won control of the legislature for the first time in 16 years on Sunday. The Democratic Unity Coalition won 99 seats to the Socialists' 46 in the 167 National Assembly. The Democratic Unity Coalition capitalized on discontent among the people with the world's highest inflation and product shortages that many blame on Maduro. Amidst widespread international protests, Japan has said it has done nothing wrong to sending out its annual Antarctic whale hunt, and the world must agree to disagree on the issue. Japan halted its whaling program following a ruling of the International Court of Justice last year, but resumed it last week. It is aiming to take more than 300 whales before the hunt ends next year. And moving on to some sports news now. India clinched the 4-match test series 3-0, thrashing South Africa by 337 runs in the final test at Kotla today. Facing a mammoth target of 481 runs, the visitors were bowled out for just 143 in their final innings. On the defensive, the Proteas added only 21 runs in the first session, consuming 35 overs. The post-lunch session produced 42 runs in 31 overs. For India, Ravichandran Ashwin once again showed his mettle as he struck 5 for 61 and was adjudged the man of the series, while Ajinkya Rahane was the man of the match for his brilliant centuries in both the innings. The 3-0 series sweep against the #1 test team, South Africa, also allowed India to climb to the #2 spot in the test rankings.
I was happy that the bowlers were going through a phase where they would be tested, their patience would be tested, and their character would be tested, and they came out with flying colours. I mean, at no stage did the bowlers panic, at no stage did the fielders panic, and we knew that it's Test cricket. In 3 sessions we will get that one chance, and when we get it, we have to make sure that we are in that mindset to capitalise and cash in at that stage. And
at lunchtime, what were we, 3 down? Definitely we believe that we could still take it. We knew the last hour wicket's probably going to, or the last session is going to be a bit more difficult. Obviously, even if you lose 1 or 2 more wickets, it's always going to be difficult for number 8, 9, 10 and 11 to kind of hang in there. But we tried our best, as AB de Villiers did an exceptional job to try and hold the game together for us.
Let's now bring you a roundup of the other sports news in Sportsbeat. Former world champion Vishwanathan Anand drew with the reigning world champion Magnus Carlsen of Norway in the 3rd round of the London Chess Classic. After one decisive game in round 1, the 3rd day also witnessed just one decisive game, wherein France's Maxime Vachier-Lagrave defeated Bulgaria's Vasilin Topalov. The other 3 games of the 10-player round-robin tournament ended in draws. Paralympic athlete Oscar Pistorius will appear in court on Tuesday to apply for bail following his conviction for murdering his girlfriend Riva Steenkamp. Last week, the Supreme Court upgraded Pistorius' charge to murder from culpable homicide. Pistorius was released from jail on the 19th of October and was sent under house arrest to serve the rest of his sentence. The FBI is reportedly probing the role of Sepp Blatter in a bribery scandal which involves sports marketing company ISL. The company is alleged to have paid $100 million to FIFA officials in the 1990s in return for marketing and television rights. Meanwhile, former Peruvian football president was arrested and an arrest warrant was issued against the Guatemalan football president on corruption charges. And finally, on this newscast, rock band U2 has written a tribute to the victims of the recent terror attack in Paris. The group were due to play in the French capital days after the attacks before the gigs were cancelled. They played the first rescheduled show on Sunday evening. We leave you with these images from the concert. Good night.
We have few words to speak to the loss that you are feeling in this city tonight. Even if we think we know a little something about grief, I guess grief is like a wound that never fully closes.